Good evening. This week, for my interactive assessment, I'm going to be talking about Chapter 9. It's about motivation and basically how our body and our mind work to get daily stuff done, or what drives us to do a certain thing. Motivation, whether you're striving to meet a certain goal, or like right now we're in college, and our motivation is to finish and graduate and get that diploma. But we also have motivation in our daily lives. Our daily lives are to do well in our job, do well in our family, be financially stable. Kind of, I hate to say it, but you're kind of competing with the Joneses. Your neighbors or your friends. You want to compete with them, which is, it shouldn't be that way, but unfortunately it is that way. During Chapter 9, there was several people that did experiments and studies, and I've noticed throughout this class that there are a lot of people in psychology that will do one experiment or one study, and it totally contradicts another study, so it can get confusing at times, and it is for me especially. But I took I could see psychology working in my job, because it's going to help me focus more on how people think. There's always that modus operandi, which is why they did something or how they did something. And in Chapter 9, they talked about motivation, what drives us, and how do we stay calm, or in a happy area, which is, they said homeostasis, which is our normal psychological well-being, where everything's going great, we're normal, we got food, water, shelter, we got all our needs met, and we're perfectly calm. Right now, that is not probably going to happen, because the virus that's going around, and we're all worried about what's going to happen next. And there's people going into stores buying way more than they need, which makes it difficult for those who need it. That when they go in there, there's nothing in there, and I think their motivation is out of fear. Now, there are some that their motivation out of greed. You see them on the internet selling this toilet paper, for 3 times what it's going for regular. That's just ridiculous. But in their mind, they just think about making money. They don't care about how it affects. Back to Chapter 9, I was looking over some of the studies that were done, and Abraham Maslow did one in 1970. He said that certain needs, we will make sure those are taken care of before any others. Like breathing, food, water, shelter. Those are the primary things. And then once those are met, and we're in a homeostasis state of mind, we still want to strive and have motivation to exceed, and go where we think we can go higher. We all want to succeed in our job. We all want that next promotion. We all want to make more money. That way we can buy nicer things. Unfortunately, I think we put that ahead of what really is important. Do we all want a nice house? Yeah. Is it necessary? No. Do we all want a nice car? Yeah. But is it necessary? No. You need a car that gets you back and forth to work, and back and forth to where you want to go, A to B. But some of us, their motivation is driven by self-esteem, peer pressure. It could be they just want everybody else to see how they look. It's interesting to see people that have these cars that, $50,000, $60,000 cars, but their house is just falling apart, or vice versa. they got this big beautiful house, but they got a car that barely makes it to work. Well, that goes back to your motivation, and you need those primary needs. You need a vehicle that's going to get you back A to B. They don't think that way, and I think a lot of these studies are focusing in on what drives somebody to do certain things and what their motivation is. So I really did enjoy chapter 9, and I'm really enjoying this unit because it's giving me more to think of in my job. When I go and talk to a suspect, I can kind of get where they're coming from. Usually when I'm talking to somebody in an interview, I always try to get where they're coming from, where were they raised. Got to kind of get to know them first before I start questioning about a case. I want to know what kind of background they have, how they do in their normal life, and religious beliefs. Just because that gives me a basis to start from, and get to know where they're at, either mentally or community wise, financially. I don't really get into about money, but I just, hey, are you struggling, stuff like that. So again, I really enjoyed this chapter and this section, and I look forward to the next one. Thank you.